just give Vincent what we've got? Maybe that would help. Mr. Mensa did seem very desperate to get out of Neo SF. Without the car, Parallax would have an easier time finding him long term. But in the short term, I doubt it would make or break his escape. Like, could he bus? I don't know if Neo SF is, like, bus friendly. I don't know if you could just get on the Greyhound and disappear. Still, he was a friend to Hayden, or at least a known colleague. I can't argue with the pragmatic possibilities, but it would be sad to take advantage of someone Hayden likely respected a great deal. I mean, I'm just saying, if they're in San Francisco, they just need to take a bus, where to? Just a little bit north? And then they're one bus away from Vancouver, BC. I'm just saying, it's pretty good. It's pretty good to get across the border. And I figure in 2064 it's even better. I mean, you just grab a Bolt bus and you can go all the way up the West Coast if you feel like it. I've already lost enough things that I care about. I'd rather not throw away a measure of compassion. Aw. Gus, what's up? Hey there. Maybe we could find an old manually driven car? That sounds cool. That's not the worst idea. I don't think it would get noticed as long as the car had the appropriate registrations. But the permits to operate a manual vehicle are prohibitively expensive. A casual collector might still maintain one, but only a wealthy hobbyist would have the appropriate stickers to make the car roadworthy. But we'd have to do a B&E, as Chad put it before. What? Gus, you got some... Okay, the two of you are killing me here. Look, don't tell Majid about this. But here. Oh my, Gus is gonna come in for his carjacking device. Gus, where did you get that? You know what? Maybe I shouldn't ask that. Take that back. Don't ask that question. What is this, Gus? Whose voice I still haven't quite figured out because I didn't know how much we're committing to this character. Apparently a lot, so let's give it a right go at it. It's an automated vehicle maintenance scanner. When you circumvent its security nodes, you can use it to scan a car's installed firmware and replace it with a new set that will spoof its presence on the city's network. There's Gus reading it out like it is. Okay, cool. They reinstall the car's firmware. Apparently cars have firmware now. That sounds terrifying. Like, I know if I have firmware, my computer just doesn't work anymore. I can't imagine a car having firmware. Okay, that's the gist of it. We don't have time to get into any specifics, so you need to get the hell out of here with that before Majid gets back. Oh, some urgency. Look, Majid has done a lot to turn his life around. I really respect that about him. It's part of why I fell in love with him. He did what I was never able to do. That's how we met, you know, the rough and tumble life we both led. But you heard wrong. It wasn't Majid who had a hard time giving it up. It was me. Aww. Gus, he's so cuddly. Now he's got a good thing going with the Stardust, and I'm doing my best to be part of it, and he'd be heartbroken if he found out I'm still in the game. But since I have that thing anyway, may as well let it be used for a decent cause. I can't tell you how much we appreciate this, Gus. We might be finally on our way to solving this mystery. Yeah, well, you didn't get it from me, okay? Just get out of here and get on with your Grand Theft Auto and let me know how it goes, okay? Thanks, Gus. I was right. I told you the bartenders always have all the answers. Oh, now we know Gus and Majid are super cute. They're so cute together and they have each other's back. And now we have their carjacking device, apparently. Okay, let's get into some Grand Theft Auto. This is great. Okay. Now I think we're cooking with gas, as the colloquialism goes, Solon. Searching the mesh for instructions on how to use this device as we speak. Let's go look for some likely candidates. I should be ready by then. This is a car. Let's try this one. Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Give me a moment to get everything installed. There. Okay, well that was it. We just did it. Oh, there are some other options here I can fool around with. Oh, interesting. I can put in preset destination plans for a future date. Why don't we go ahead and set a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Mensa to get away. Now we are really stealing the car. More like borrowing without asking. It's like that bit in Jackie Chan Adventures. You know, the Jackie Chan cartoon? He'd always be running through cities doing like a chase scene, and then he'd like just take stuff from people and be like, sorry, I'll give it back, bye. That's us, but with a car and being actual felonists now. Well, I feel better already. Me too. The car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. Mensa where it is when we meet him. Holy crap, the car can drive itself. Holy crap, all of these cars can drive themselves. That's freaky. There, everything should be set up now. There it goes. Bye-bye, car. Mr. Mensa will be waiting for us at the Golden Gate Park. We have everything he requested, so we should head there directly. We got it. We got it. Let's go talk to Mensa, who also, again, has the most cyberpunk name. Vincent Mensa. Hey. I'd use an item on you, but I've got like a million items that I could give to you right now. Here you go. Everything. Briefcase, passports, carjacking device. We did it. We got everything. We had a very full inventory, it seems. And a brick. You want a brick? Vincent! I could give you a brick, too. Everything seems to be in order. Here. Oh, snap! That's right. This is actually for something. I completely forgot we were doing this for something. I was just so excited to help a guy out, you know? You just want to, like, help someone out and feel good about it afterwards. I'm like, yeah, I feel good. Oh, you're gonna pay me for this. Oh, we get paid. This disc has all of Hayden's research notes and technical notes. Should be everything myself and Melody agreed upon. It covers all kinds of things she was working on. His data collation algorithms, some research into digital human consciousness transference, and probably lots on your creation, Turing. Also, Melody added an amendment while you were out, and frankly, no skin off my back. Here. Oh sweet, a badge! We can get into Parallax. My Parallax employee badge. Should allow you access to their networks in case there's anything I've missed. You'll want to use that sooner rather than later. I'm not wasting any time, and Parallax is pretty fast to revoke security. And with that, I'm gonna get the hell out of this town. Cash should tide me over until the heat dies down, and I can cash out my shares through some relays. So about the big project though, right before we go, let's make sure we're on level. Ah, okay. Sure, you did me a solid, so I'll spill. Parallax is about to announce the launch of a new service they're calling Big Blue. At least, that's the project name. Who knows what the marketing guys have come up with for the public. It's a distributed intelligence. Like, okay, in every way that Hayden built Turing to be elegant, efficient, and human-like, Big Blue's ham-fisted, bloated, and sterile. They didn't pull Hayden into the project, probably because he gives so little a damn about corporate politics that he'd tank the whole thing just by being there. So the system lacks his artistry that you'd see on our previous projects. It squats on the mesh like a spider, using spare processing power and memory from every ROM in the network to handle its intelligence processing. Doesn't have much of a personality, but it's very smart. Pretty much puts Hayden out of a job anyway. His algorithms are fantastic, but he's only human. Big Blue is embedded directly into the network, and can self-modify to apply even more efficient algorithms as it develops them in machine time. Wow. Okay, so basically, it takes processing power from all of the ROMs and applies it to an AI in order to give the AI, like, ultimate power! Like in that, like, Jafar scene in Aladdin, like, oh, infinite power! And the funny part is that that's all stuff that we do already anyway. Like the PlayStation 3, it had at its launch for like the first 5 years or so, if you had it on standby, it would use processing power idly to fold proteins. And it was called PlayStation at Home, that whole project. Ended up doing a whole lot of good. A lot of cool stuff came from it. And it was a huge project where like video game companies like did like this kind of weirdly humanitarian thing. There was spare processing power lying around, so might as well use it all. And it looked really cool too. That was the most important bit. They folded proteins all day, all night if you kept your PlayStation on idle, and they gave you a little UI that showed what was going on and how much it was doing, and it was like, oh, this is really cool looking, actually. Anyway, Big Blue, just like that. Just the same dang thing. So, why would Parallax be worried enough to get rid of Hayden? We kind of get that. We got the idea that Hayden was kind of volatile. Even though Turing says that Hayden wasn't. Hayden seemed very calm. Maybe it was just because he was at home. But how did Parallax know about Turing, and how will Big Blue impact Parallax's business? Hopefully we'll ask all these questions. It isn't like Hayden kept his work on Turing a secret. His contract with Parallax affords him the freedom to work on his own academic projects outside of the company in his free time. Up to and including publishing and patenting, though Parallax gets first right of refusal. What are the perks of being the smartest guy in the room? It's also something that Google employees get. At least programming employees get a very similar kind of thing. So he's kept most of us up to date on his progress, bouncing ideas off of us and whatnot. It's exciting stuff, both Turing and Hayden's eventual goal of digital consciousness transfer. I'm not surprised word of it got up to the board and made them nervous. And Big Blue business? Can't really give you a good answer to that. I mean the company is currently handled by a dozen server farms, running thousands of different algorithms with hundreds of people tweaking things every day. Big Blue will be able to do all of that on its own. And there are shadier applications for it. I mean, if you can collate and analyze data and queries on the mesh in real time, what's to stop you from delivering the contents you want, rather than what the user wants? So, giving the user content that is purposely in Parallax's interest. The potential for abuse is staggering. We're talking direct control of the information accessible to everyone who uses Parallax's services. That's something like 70% of the market last I checked. They could control elections, push the market in directions they want, influence public opinion, all by asking Big to do it. Having that kind of control would be a hell of a card for Parallax's hand. They'll go to pretty significant lengths to make sure it works. Why would Parallax be worried enough to get rid of Hayden? Because launching the first fully independent self-modifying machine intelligence is a shaky thing. I mean, some of the brightest minds have ever have tried to warn humankind away from building real AI. Hawking, Musk, Gates, the list goes on. Probably, maybe, hopefully past like 2000s and 2010s people. Isn't that list just 90s and 2000s people? It's okay, it's 2064. Nobody else got better. They're the peak of their game. They could go on for another 50 years, sure. Those three guys. Public's likely to be nervous. Legislators even more nervous. Parallax is banking on being able to launch the project quickly and get results out in the open before any counter movement can pick up steam. If they can prove Big Blue works and isn't going to go Skynet on us, then they can avoid regulatory hamstringing. The research Hayden was doing on Turing threatens to throw a huge wrench into that, since he was planning on publishing his findings soon. Every extra eye on machine intelligence works against Parallax, and I think they tried to pressure him to drop it. Clearly he refused. I think that's everything. I think that's more than everything. Especially the thought, the idea that Big Blue is going to attempt to rule over all of us, and Vincent disagrees with that. I've had enough of this cutthroat corporate bullshit for several lifetimes. If anyone can find Hayden, I know it's you. Hope his research notes help you out, Solon. Obviously we know we can't find Hayden because he's shoved off this mortal coil. But still, we can find Hayden. We can find out about Hayden, like know more about him as an individual, as a person. We can find Hayden metaphorically in a lot of ways. Be sure to let Turing help. She's a bright little bot. Oh, I've always thought of Turing as a he. I think Turing goes by they. I mean, you asked Turing. Since you asked me, how should I address you? Yeah, what are your pronouns, Turing? Or do you even identify on that kind of subset of human cognition? Well, honestly, I don't think I've made up my mind yet. Oh, slip of the tongue. I'm just more familiar with Hayden's first experiment, Grace. She was very insistent on things like that. I'm still a very new being. I'm not even positive gender is a human concept that can be applied identically to machine. but I do enjoy the idea in abstract. I'll continue to consider how I wish to be referred to as well. Until then, feel free to go with whatever you feel. If I had to make a choice, perhaps they is most appropriate. Most people assume it, obviously, but he is also consistently used. Perhaps it's because I'm blue. Right, and like we said earlier, Chad, our favorite Seattle band, Starfucker, was also very insistent that Turing was or at least identified as he, right? And that wasn't because he was blue, as much as Turing, Chad identified with Turing's story of losing his father figure and needing to find his father figure, and thus identified Turing as he. And I've been kind of code switching between a bunch of them, trying to go with they as much as possible, because I think that's fun. I think it's great. Even if there were more, if there were a set of robotic pronouns, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Robo pronouns. Dun, 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 dun. Ignore me, just marveling at the machine intelligence pondering on things like this. It's kind of cool. I'm blushing a little bit because this is very sci-fi in all the right ways. I'm having sci-fi feels. What have you done indeed, Hayden? Good luck to both of you. Thank you, Mr. Mensa. Be safe. He just flew away! He's gone! I guess he started up his engine to drive off, but I think he just flew up. He was just like, woo, 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 woo. Goodbye, Mr. Mensa. Goodbye. What a man.